Thanks, Walter. Thank you so much for joining me to share about your experience working one-on-one together.
No worries. Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Tell me about what was life like before doing one-on-one coaching?
Oh, what was life like before Jessey? I was in a very dark place. I'd kind of lost my way a little bit. I was very scattered and unclear about what I wanted moving forward. And just going through an all dark sort of place in my life. Yeah.
Mm. I remember you reached out to me and we were just chatting on Instagram and you signed up for one-on-one over the DMs and then we booked in your first call the next couple of days later.
I'm pretty sure that most of my calls with you, I was in tears as well, because I was in a very emotional place and there was so much built up that it was just this huge release of emotion and negative energy that I needed to clear out of my life for me to be able to move on to where I am now. So, yeah.
It's a real honor to be able to be your coach and friend, Bex. Thank you. What were some of those practical things that helped you in the beginning when we started working together?
One of the biggest things was just having someone to talk to. And that sounds so basic, but I had moved to Sydney. I was isolated. I lived in a place that I didn't know anybody. So I didn't have any friends or family around. I had my children, but they weren't people that I could reach out and talk to. And often our family and friends are sick of hearing your shit. That's the way they see it, whether it is or not. It's not necessarily that it is, but they just don't want to hear it anymore because they're not in a space to be able to help you because for whatever reason. So having someone to talk to and having support from someone was huge. And just that in itself alone was life changing, just to have a face to talk to. And then, to get me back in those uncomfortable habits that I needed to, like when you're making me have cold showers and it was the middle of winter and I was so angry about it. But it was so rewarding because it was building that mental strength. And every time I would shower, I'd be like, Jessey, making me have a cold shower.
We focused a lot on health, fitness, and really bringing accountability back to those habits. Hey,
Yeah, and it was that mental strengthening that came along with that. And then I was always a very fit, healthy person until this point in my life. So it was you unlocking those parts of me again and forcing that uncomfortable space for me to get back into that as well. And that's a huge part of it, is just embracing the uncomfortable to be able to move forward. And getting back into my meditations. And I mean, you're big on journaling. I'm not so much on it. I still did a little bit of it, but I'm more someone that speaks and records things as opposed to journaling. But it still helped me get those things out as well. Yeah.
yeah, and I love that we collaborate when we're finding those habits that really help elevate our baseline energy. So for you, it was like visualization and actually visiting the places where you know have elevated energy, for example, like Double Bay in Sydney, and speaking your visions out in into reality, and letting yourself try that on to say, I am a millionaire, I am highly accountable, I do live in this area.
But it's also for you to acknowledge what you saw in me, and you would say, I was strong and I was powerful and, those things. And it's having, sometimes it just takes one person to come into your life that ignites that spark and sets you just off on like a firecracker. And you were that person. So thank you.
It's my privilege. I'm so honored to be able to be a coach and to be able to help you in that space. I really am. Tell me a little bit more, Bex. What am I like as a coach?
You're so calm and so patient. And that is so refreshing as well. You've just got this energy about you of just like peace and harmony, which is so nice. And despite, I remember how many times I cried and it'd be like snot running down my face. But you made me feel so comfortable to open up to you like that. And that is so important. Like, you created such a safe space for that vulnerability. And I knew that I could show up and just be who I wanted to be. And there was no judgment along with that. Yeah. Just understanding. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I receive all of that, and I'm so honored again to be able to receive it from such a powerful person like yourself.
Thanks. You've seen me ugly cry, so I don't know where we go from here.
Tell me about what's life like now since we work together, and how is your mindset? How's your emotional regulation? How are your habits? What has been manifested in your reality?
Oh, I'm in such a good place now. Like, I'm just, yeah, my emotions are good. I have created daily habits. They're my ritual now. It's a non-negotiable. It's like, this is what I do every day. This is what I do for myself. These are the practices I put into place. I've stepped into an even better role at work. I earn heaps more money than I've ever earned. I've started my business. I've started my podcast. I'm just aligned with who I want to be, and the rest is yet to come. So, yeah.
I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful to be able to walk alongside you in your amazing journey, Bex. And I just see so many more years ahead of prosperity.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What would you say to someone that's maybe on the fence and considering one-on-one or group coaching?
Jump off the fence. The grass is greener on the other side, despite what everyone says.
I'm glad you said that and not the other way. Run.
That would be awkward. Run, hide. No. No, definitely worth the investment. Yeah, and it's hard to put into words sometimes, the whole experience, but having someone in your corner and to back you and to guide you and be that support network is invaluable. So definitely do it.
Thank you so much, Bex, for your time today. And we just got off a podcast together, which people listening can find on my podcast and Bex, which I can put in the show notes below. But on our podcast, you said you are your greatest asset.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I am my greatest asset. And to say it out loud is just even better. Yeah.
Thank you for that reminder for all of us, like investing in our mind, body, and soul. Oh, it's 11:11.
Stop it, angel numbers. Yay!
Is such a beautiful thing, isn't it?
I love that. I love that. Sign.
Another sign and omen. I remember when we got on our first call, you were down at Bondi Beach and you were looking out and you saw dolphins.
Yes.
So these strong omens of like protection,
Yeah.
which I talk a lot about in my coaching, that come up in our coaching, and how they can guide us on these paths. They can remind us we're on track, that we are being called forward to be courageous towards what it is our highest path is.
Yeah, and pay attention to signs, pay attention to numbers, because they're telling you something. So start listening.